Hi, and welcome back to Serenity Cove Crafts. My name is Linda, and I'm so excited. So excited. We're going to make, look, we're going to make this cute little birthday celebration cake. How cute is that? Now this one I made, I'm calling it mocha chocolate cake, and no calories, my friends, no calories. But it would be high in fiber. I'm sorry. I'm just feeling goofy today. Okay. So this was my prototype. This is the one that I tried out. So today we are going to be making one in white. So it's going to be a vanilla cake, and it is going to have it's going to have pink icing and pink rosettes on it. Right? I just wanted to do them in two completely different colors just to show you how versatile this particular design can be. You can leave out the rosettes if you want. It's up to you. Now with this one, okay, for this one, what I did is, let's see. So you're going to need something that is between 7 and 8 inches circle, all right, diameter. These are things that I picked up at Dollar Tree the other day. Okay, they were all, I'm in Canada, so they're $1.50 in Canada. I know my American friends, I think you're at about $1.25. So you're going to need 2 of whatever you choose. So 2 round, these are just artist canvases, they're round, and they are 8 inches. So these are a little bigger than what I used here. Okay, just want to show you, anything goes. These also, they're wire wreath forms. I didn't want to use this one because I thought it's a little pointy, a little sharp. I didn't want it poking through, but you can always wrap that with floral tape or a little bit of masking tape and you're good to go. These are smaller. These are only 4.8 inches, and they're just these floral foam circles, and it's a 2-pack. This is a little big. It's a cake pan, but if you can get one that's no bigger than 8 inches circle, grab 2 of them. You've got your top and your bottom, right? Now for this one over here, I bought these at Dollar Tree, and it was a 4-pack of these little pink, they're plastic, just these little summer picnic plates. Now these ones, they actually work perfect, and that's what I used for this. Now, let me just grab my tape measure. Now these ones at the bottom, actually if you're going across this way, whoops, about, let's say between 7 1/4, about 7 1/4 inches. All right. And I really enjoyed working with these. They're lightweight, they're plastic, one for the bottom, one for the top. And these are just to give your cake form. All right. You are going to also need, I'm just going to put this aside. You're also going to need a hot glue gun and some glue sticks. You're going to need your 48-pin Sentro knitting machine, which is what I used for this, or your 46-pin Addi. Okay, and then you're going to need, that's pretty much it. You're going to be making all these pieces on your big machine. Now, if you wanted to, you can use your 22-pin to make the rosettes. Now for these rosettes, I used this. It's a tulip I-cord maker. Now people, I just thought I was a great big I-cord failure as a crafter. I could not get, you know, the cheap one that you get at Walmart, that $20 one. Now that one just, it was a piece of garbage. And then I got the Addi egg. That one I got to work a couple of times. there again, it started giving me problems. It wouldn't crank right, no matter what yarn I tried. So then I thought, okay, I'm going to have to fork out some money. And in Canada here, for Amazon, I think I paid about $72 for this. It was way, way like out on the high side. But I'm telling you right now, what a difference. It cranks every time. And I'm using Bernat Premium in this. And it's the worsted acrylic, and it's a 4-weight. And no problems, none whatsoever. So if you're looking for an I-cord maker and you're just frustrated, I'm not endorsing, I don't get paid for this. I'm just telling you out of frustration what I eventually found that worked for me. Okay? And you're going to need some stuffing. Now I hot glued all these pieces on. If you're a purist and you want to sew, go ahead. Mattress stitch these pieces on. But a word of warning, glue guns, 1, use with caution. You don't want to hurt yourself. Safety first. 2, use sparingly. And make sure you pick off all of those glue gun cobwebs. And I was a little sloppy here with the glue gun. So what I did is I have a black acrylic marker or a brown acrylic marker that matched the color of the yarn. So I just kind of used the paint marker and went over that white glue stick. I'm sorry, I'm a general crafter and an artist, so I find creative ways of fixing oopsies. So, without further ado, what I did is I just took a white, it wasn't this is Lion brand, but I used a Bernat Premium white. And with that, I knit. Consult my notes here. I knit on my 48 Sentro. I knit 120 rows. Okay, pull it out of the machine. Give it a nice good stretch here. All right. I cinched and tied off one end. So I'm just going to go ahead and cinch this end. Tie it off the way I did this end, and I'll just show you that. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm picking up all of the stitches around the end here just to reinforce it. I'm just going through. Okay, I'm just going to pause this. I'll meet you when I get around to the other end. I've made it over to this end. So now I'm just going to tie it off. Now when I was babbling on before about the equipment you would need, if you don't have an I-cord maker, don't worry about it. You can make an I-cord with your 22-pin Addi, or actually I would prefer the Addi. I would suggest using the Addi over the Sentro for the 22-pin I-cord making. The 22 Sentro it's quite the finicky beast, and it does not cooperate often. Now, the I-cords, or the panels that I made, for example, for the icing, now I made these, I just did them. For example, this is the top icing, and I did 11 stitches across, and I made a panel. This is the top icing. Now, the way I did this, you can also just bring it down to 5 stitches, and that's how you'd make your I-cord as well. Okay. I do have a tutorial that shows you how to make an I-cord without the I-cord machine by using one of your knitting machines, and hopefully I will remember. I'm going to put that link down there for you. And the same premise is used for doing 7 rows and the 11 rows that we'll be needing for the icing. All right. Okay, so I am going to double my work. Like I said, I wanted this end piece on the inside. And give it a nice stretch. Okay, and I'm just going to go in through the middle here, and I'm going to come out the middle on the inside, right there. And just feeding that through. I'm going to tie it off now. You don't have to hide your ends or cut them down. They just act as stuffing. That's fine. Right? So at this point, I'm just grabbing some white yarn. Okay, I'm doubling the strands just so that I can tie. We're going to make a drawstring around the open edge here. So go ahead and double that just so that it's nice and strong. All right, and now I pick up two at a time. See that? I know it's going to be hard to see the white. So I pick up two, and then I skip over the third one, and then I grab the next two, and go over the other, grab two, go over, two, and you're going to pull. Don't pull it all the way through, or it'll come undone on you, and you'll have to start over. Right? Even I'm having trouble following this white. Okay, so continue. You go ahead and you do that all the way around till you get back to where you started. I'm going to pause and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So I have my drawstring on here. So our next step is I'm going to use the artist's canvas this time. We're going to fit it in to the tube. Nice good stretch. Okay. Just maneuver it till you have the closed end here in the middle. So now you see why I used the smaller thing to begin with for the other cake. But this one is going to turn out. We're going to stuff it and it's going to turn out. Trust me. I would not lead you astray. All right, so now I'm just going to go ahead and grab some stuffing. And we are going to start filling. All right? So we're just going to stuff. You're stuffing all the way to the edge. Alright, let's see. Now this is why I like to add the drawstring before I even do any stuffing. A lot of people will add it after, but I like to have it already installed so that I can test it out just to see if I need to add more stuffing. Okay. So, oh, sorry, in case you didn't notice that, I'm grabbing the other part, the other artist canvas, and I'm not committing to this 100% yet. I'm just seeing if I need more stuffing. See that? I could use some more stuffing over here. All right. I'll keep on going. I'll try to see if I can just stuff it without removing this top piece. when I make toys for my channel or for my Etsy store, if I don't really like how something turns out, well, what I do is with everything that turns out, I just take them and I donate them for the kids at the community care centers in the area. And anything that I am not absolutely in love with, I just take it apart like this and just reuse it. I mean, that way the stuffing isn't going to waste. Right. And just play around, smush your stuffing around. Okay. And now you see why we doubled it, just to give you that extra strength. Now it does take some maneuvering to get it to the shape that you want. Like I said, I had used on the other one these small plates, and they're smaller, so they were easier to work with. But I'm just doing this to show you that there are alternatives. Guys, think outside the box. If you don't have something like this, go to your local thrift store, your local dollar store, and you'll find something. Make sure you bring your tape measure with you. Now you see, he's a little off kilter here, but that could be a good thing if you're making a Dr. Seuss cake. So if this didn't work out, I could have just called it a Dr. Seuss cake and gone with it. And that's what I mean about using my creativity to think my way around problems. Okay. So I'm just going to pause this while I just keep working at it. I need to add some more stuffing, and then I will be back. All right, I'm back. Now go ahead and just play around with the stuffing. Just play around until you get the shape that you want. I don't think that's too bad. Once we get the icing on, it'll all look a lot better. Okay, so now I'm just going to try to get this towards the middle. This is where I'm going to put the largest rosette, icing rosette. So I'm just going to try to get it as close to the middle as I can. So we'll go ahead. And we're going to tie this. We're going to knot it off. I'll probably tie it 3 times. And if a little bit of the hole shows, just don't worry about that. You can just sew it. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead. I'm just going to sew this closed. I mean, it's all good. We're going to be putting our rosette in the middle, and if you choose to put a birthday candle, we'll have that there as well. Okay, there we go. Okay, just going to tie this off again, and then I am now going to hide these tails inside the work. Go ahead and hide them, cut them off. And just go ahead and readjust. Refluff your cake. There we go, that's not too bad. Alright, that's not too bad. Now for these pieces, now I've chose pink icing for this one. Okay. Now for the bottom icing, now what I did, and I'm actually going to show you how to do that. Okay. So in this case, I'm just going to use my 22 pin Addi, and I'm just going to come over to the first black pin here. Oops. I'm just going to try to zoom in here. There we go. And I'm going to cast on, and for this particular one, now the tutorial that I will be linking for you is how to do an I-cord with 5 stitches. Now for this bottom icing, I wanted it a little thicker, so I'm doing it with 7 stitches. Okay, so we're going casting on here 1, we're going in front of the first one, behind the second, in front of the third, behind the fourth, in front of the fifth, behind the sixth, in front of the seventh. At this point, I'm just going to open my feeder and insert this. Now, this stitch is not completely cast on there. I need to wait until the yarn that's immediately to the left of my stitch number 7 drops. Let's see here. It'll drop under this red bar. Okay. And watch, there, it just did. It just went under. So that's now our cue to go back in the other direction. All right. So there's 1, there's 2. I tend to hold the yarn in my left hand. All right. So that first row going that way was your cast on row. Okay. So now you've just completed. I had to wait until it went under the bar. Now this is my first pin, okay? And we've just done our first row. Okay? Now the pins that you just will need to really keep your eye on are the first one and the last one. They're the ones that are more than likely, if you are going to have issues, those are the ones that are going to be causing you problems. Okay, so I'm going back in this direction. Now in case you're wondering, the very first pin here, the first black one, I took a Sharpie marker and I marked the red bar on either side. That way at a quick glance I can tell when my first pin is coming around. I just figured I'd just explain that to you. Okay, so going in this direction, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's number 7. It kind of got caught, but it rectified itself. And if it didn't, if it was still up high, like up higher, you would just take your finger or your needle and just push it down. Okay. Now this is stitch number 7. This is our last one. So we want to make sure that we go until the yarn drops behind the bar that's next to it. Right there, right there, there it goes, there it goes, there it goes, there. It just clicked under. Now we go in the other direction. Okay, there you go. The first one, you kind of got a little loopy. Just go ahead and tug up that tail. Push that down. And we'll wait until we get to the right. So until you're past that last stitch, depending on which direction you're going. In this case, we're going this way, so I need to get to the right of this stitch. So when that bar comes, see that yarn's going under, and it just clicked under. So now I'm going back in this direction. All right, and back over in this way. Sorry, I don't have this strapped down, so it's just kind of wiggling all over. So you just want to tug at that, make sure that goes down. And occasionally tug at the tail here. And you just keep going. You have to go slow for your first few rows. Like I said, the end ones, the end pins can be the ones that are going to give you trouble. So just go slow in the beginning. Now keep going all the way over here and under this bar, back in that direction, under that bar, back that way. Right. So I'm just going to keep doing this. I'm actually just going to pause it, and when I get a little bit more done, I'll show you how to cast off. Just for this demonstration, I decided that I'm only going to go this length here. Okay, so I like to bring my pins back over this way. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's number 7. Keep going till the yarn goes under, and then stop. This point, I just cut some yarn. Now this particular yarn is called, the color is called Pink Macaroon, and it's Bernat Premium, and it's one of my favorite pinks to work with. Such a happy pink. Okay, so back to this. Go ahead and thread your needle. Open the yarn guide. Oops. Now you'll see the yarns under a couple pins. These aren't stitches, so we want to release the yarn from under those. Okay, under from that one. This back up. And now I'm just going to crank this way. I'm moving my yarn into the middle, and I'm just cranking this way until I get past this first pin. Now we're just going to start picking off the stitches. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4. Trying to hold this to the camera so you can see it. And 5, 6, and there's number 7. All right? Now, personally, when I started doing like the I cords, like I was terrified. I was terrified to learn how to use a panel. Oh, and by the way, guys, this is a panel. Look, you made a panel. It's small, but it's a panel. And I was terrified, just terrified. I just thought, I'm just going to mess it up. I'm never going to be able to figure this out. And this is how I learned how to make panels, by just doing something small like this. So this is a 7 stitches. But see, when you pull it tight, look, there's your I cord. It's a little chunky because it's the 7 stitches. So your normal I cord would be just the 5, so it would be two stitches shorter, or thinner rather. And I'll just put this aside. I won't be using this. I just wanted to demonstrate to you. All right, so this is going to be the bottom icing. Find my ruler. You don't have to pay too much attention with my row counts. I will post everything and all my measurements down below in the description. Now with these, when I'm doing I cords, I never count row counts. I just measure. So for the bottom icing, once I pulled it off the machine, it ended up being 22 inches. That's unstretched. I was going for 23 inches. I ended up cutting it a little short, but that's okay. It's all good. Now for this end, I just knotted it. Actually, I'm just going to zoom back out here. Okay, so I just tied it off here, and then I hid the yarn inside the work. Going to do, hang on a second, just want to make sure it goes around nicely. Okay. So what I'm going to do over here, now what I probably should have done, but I was too hasty in closing this end, you could do this. Now this is going to be the top of the icing, and this is 11 stitches. Okay, and you can see I haven't butchered the ends yet. At that point, oh my goodness, you could actually do, please, actually I would encourage you to do what I'm showing you here, do with this first piece. All right, so I'm just going to tie this off, little knot. I am not going to cut it. Don't cut it. Okay, and I already tied this end off. So at this point, I'm just going to use my cake to measure. See, it doesn't quite go all the way, but at this point, just go ahead and take it and tie it. We're just going to tie until our ends reach. And don't worry, we'll sew. We'll be doing some sewing there. Okay, so now go ahead and tie your ends, like hide them rather. Okay, there's the one end. At this point, I think that I'm going to use this tail end here. Just going to sort of snake it through to the end here. And I'm just going to sew that gap that we have here. Okay. So just finding the end to this side, just lining them up. We will be gluing this down onto the cake. But you can also sew it onto the cake. I just figured for the length of the tutorial, it's faster if I were to glue it down. And it honestly looks good, providing you're careful with your gluing. No fancy stitching here. I'm just whip stitching going through. Okay, so I've got these. Go ahead and tie it off. Find your ends. And go ahead and do that with this smaller one that's going to be the bottom icing. Go ahead and do that, and then I'll be right back with the hot glue gun. All right, now I like to knit all of my pieces beforehand so that they're all ready to assemble. So these are going to be your little rosettes. So they're going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the ones that will appear on the outside of the cake. Now these ones here, these rosettes, I made 5, and I made them on my I-cord maker, and I made them about 7 inches. You know, I'm not picky. Give or take a little bit, it's fine. So I did 5 like that, and then I did one that was longer. My longer one measures about, let's say about 13 inches. So you can go ahead and knit your pieces. All right. So I am going to grab the smaller one, and we're just going to fit it over the bottom here. And you want the open side here. I want that on the inside here. There we go. I had to use my chest to hold it in place while I did this. Okay. Now, before you commit to it, just go ahead and work it so that it's going to lay down the way you want it to. There we go. I'm just uncurling the edge here. Trying to just get it to sit a little better. Okay. Just go like this. All right. Now it is a little wobbly. I think that's why I preferred making it with these, because when I did it with these, I put them this way so that the knot ends up being in this empty space. So your plate sits, your cake sits a little flatter, but that's okay. That's okay. So now with my glue gun, like I said, very, very careful. I have this industrial strength glue gun. It's hot. It's hot. It's hot. I have to be careful. Extra glue stick here. Okay, so I'm just going to start just kind of tacking. Very, very little glue. And this is the bottom. And just readjust while you're going around, as you might find necessary. You don't need much. If you've ever gotten hot glue stuck on yarn, you'll know that it's not coming off. So you don't need much. Now this is where I sewed it, so this I'll just end up making sure that I have the back seam of this lined up with that. This will be the back of the cake. Just going around. A lot of self-restraint here. The glue. I can tend to be a little impatient. Honestly, I really am. And I try to rush things. But I'm on my best behavior right now. Alright? And you just keep going till you come to, see, I can tell this is where I started. Right? Okay. So now I'm going to work at tacking down this part here. Now, arrange it however you like. I think I kind of like it folded in like that. Oops. There. So I'm going to do the same thing here. When I get to the other side, I will be back. Okay, so I've got my icing at the bottom stuck on, looking good. Okay, so here's where the seam is. So I want to now take the 11 stitch icing piece for the top. I want to line this up with that. There again, sorry, I have to use my chest and my tummy to get this. Okay. And you just fiddle with it till you have it the way you like it. And then the same thing here. Start off by gluing the top. And I wanted my icing, I like my icing to kind of hang over the top a little like that. Like so. Okay. All right, so go ahead and glue this on and adjust. Once you have the top part here glued, that's when you can take the time and realign as you're gluing down here, just to make sure that you're getting it exactly the way you want it to. And then I'll come back and show you how to do the rosettes. All right, so I am back. My cake is iced. Yum, yum. Here you go. Ooh. All right, so we're now going to grab our rosettes. And let's see. I'm going to want to put 5 of them. I'll try to space them as evenly as I can. Oh, I'm just using some old Sentro needles that I have. I find for me they work better than stitch markers. Right, one here, and let's see. Okay, I'll just start here and I will adjust as I go along. So you're saving this long one for last. So I'll just move that over to the other side. I'm just going to take one of the 5 little I-cords. See what I mean? Like, that's the tulip I-cord maker. It's so tight. It's a wonderful, wonderful weave. And all I did is I just took the ends, pulled them, and then kind of snaked them through and hid them in here. Excellent. Now I did have a little problem with starting off on this particular one. So you'll see one end looks a little wonky. That's all right. I'll start with that. It'll be my outside edge. So I'm just going to lightly just tack this in place. Okay. It's just so that it's not moving around on me while I am figuring out where I want it to go. So we're just going to curl it in on itself, kind of like a snake charmer's snake in a basket. There we go. So because this is a little wonky, I'm going to want to have it cover part of that. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to bit of glue. A little bit over here, tack, little tack there. Hold it down. Right. And now we're going to snake around. We're going to curl it up like so. Like that. Okay, can you see that? I am just tack a little bit. I really like the white. You can't see the little strands from the glue gun. Okay. I am going to have it go like this. Easy, easy with the glue gun. Right. So we're going to want the top part here to close off. Okay. See, like that? Just going to close it. So it'll close like that. I know I look like I know how to decorate cakes, but honestly, I do not. I look like a drunken monkey trying to decorate cakes or cupcakes. I am not gifted. I can bake well, but I can't ice. Oh my goodness. I am artistically challenged that way, rather. Twist it into place. Okay, so there's one rosette. See that? It's cute. So we'll continue, and I mean, honestly, I don't measure. I always just eyeball everything. I eyeball it and hope that it works. It's not a very good teaching method, is it? Oh, I do apologize, my friends. I apologize. Okay. So, let's see. About like that. Yes. I think we'll start this one right about here. I'm just one of these girls. I just eyeball everything. It's kind of the way I make my way through life too. Okay. I'm just going to start curling it up on itself here. This to touch the white part, and all right, so that's how we're going to do that. Trying not to scream in pain. Second time I've burnt my fingers. Okay. Now I'm just going to keep on off camera, gluing these on and adjusting my course as I need to. All right. And if you find that your spacing, it's hard to get your spacing and you have too much of a gap, you can always make yourself another little I-cord. A little I-cord, and make yourself 6 rosettes, or just make 4. 4 are easy to space out. But I just chose 5 because I like to complicate my life. So I will be back once I'm done gluing those ones. And then we'll do the center one. All right, so now I've got the longest piece for the middle. These kind of are, could have used a little bit different spacing, but that's okay. I'm happy with it. All right, so this one, I'm just going to start over here towards the middle. Right. Just want to make sure that I have enough to coil around. Yes, that looks just about right. So you're going to be doing the same thing that you did with the other rosettes. Well, there you go. See, look, cute Dr. Seuss cake. I do a nice little coil spring. You can save anything that you're working on. Think outside the box. There we go. Right. And I'm going to attempt to leave a little tiny bit of a hole in the top, just so that we can insert a candle. Now you don't need a birthday candle. Or you can forego these rosettes altogether and then just make a whole bunch of birthday candles. Need to focus a little bit better on what I'm doing here. Okay. Too busy chatting away. There we go. So I'll go ahead and continue gluing this, and I'll be back to show you how we're going to make the candle. Alright, so I've just cast on and done a couple of rows, just starting with my I-cord for the candle. Now I just have a regular pipe cleaner here, and I am going to cut it down. Let's see. Okay, maybe we'll go 3 inches. Oops, there you go. 3 inches. Just go ahead, cut it. Put the excess away for another project. Okay, so now what I want to do is, like, I've cast on with this, it's a pretty violet color. I thought I'd make the candle out of that. So I've cast on and I'm knitting. So it's got sealed nicely in here. So at this point I'm going to insert my pipe cleaner into the middle, continue cranking away, and this is the first time I've done this, so with any luck it will knit around the pipe cleaner. But look how smooth that is. This is the tulip. I mean, it's not fighting me at all. And look at that. I mean, I don't have to, I'm going at good speed. I don't have to take my time. I mean, this thing's marvelous. And I'm only saying that because I've pulled out my share of hair. Just being frustrated. Okay, so I've come over to where this is ended. I'm just going to do a couple stitches here. Alright, so I'm just going to cut this. Now with this particular I-cord maker, they tell you then to crank in reverse. Okay. And it will release. There we go. And it actually knit exactly the way I wanted it to. That pipe cleaner's in here. She's giving a little bit of stability. And my glue gun is still plugged in. We're almost done. We're almost done. So guys, if you enjoy my tutorial, go ahead, hit that thumbs up button, give me a like, subscribe. I'm working hard, and I went through a few days where my creative juices just weren't flowing, and then all of a sudden the idea of a cake. Yesterday the idea of a cake popped into my brain, so I've been working on this. Not all of my ideas pan out, but I am happy to say this one is. I am just casting off. I'm taking my ends here. There we go. So I'm closing the end. I mean, look at that. Beautiful. And now I'm just going to hide the end. Just kind of poke it through here. And it's a little tight squeeze because the pipe cleaner's inside. That's all right. Okay. I am going to cut this. Go. Just pull it out so it stands up and it looks like the wick. Okay, now I'm just going to straighten this out. Plop some glue right in the middle here. I probably put a little too much at this point. Okay. So there we are. Oh, look at that. Yum, yum. I stand you up here. Okay, so let me just grab the chocolate cake over here. And there's the chocolate cake. You can see the size difference just because of, you know, what I used as a base. But there we go. Now, my husband's a chocolate eater, so he'd be happy with this. I love vanilla. So this is my dream cake right here. Right here. Okay. So, friends, our journey, our time together has come to an end. So I do hope to see you again soon. And I can't wait to see your pictures. Go ahead and post them on the Circular Knitting Machine for Facebook pages. I belong to a handful of them, so I'm sure that I'll see your beautiful cake creation on one of the groups. And until next time, take care and be well.